everybody, it's your host Tabriz. Welcome back to my YouTube channel AQUAFINS and Nature. Why am I saying my YouTube channel? I should probably saying welcome back to your YouTube channel AQUAFINS and Nature. After all, it is only and only because of you guys that our channel is growing. So you guys might be knowing from the thumbnail of this video that I'll be showing you guys how to decide the layout for your aquascape. So let's roll the intro and get started. For those of you who are new to my channel, this is actually my second episode of my Nano Aquascape series. The first episode I showed everyone how to prepare the driftwood for the aquarium. If you guys have not watched that video, there is an I button popping up right in the corner over here. You can just click on it and watch that video first and then come back to this video. I might not be the best aquascaper, or I can't take the credits of being the best aquascaper, but then I can assure you guys, if in case you guys are planning to have a planted aquarium in near future, these tips and ideas which I'm going to be sharing today will be really helpful for you, so stay tuned. So before I could show you guys how to actually decide the layout, let me give you guys a quick run through my dimension of my tank. The dimension of this particular tank is about 1.5 feet in length, 9-inch front to back and 9-inch from bottom to top, and these 3-inch I have left for the side braces, which I'm going to clip on my light and maybe even the filter on the other side. There might be a few of you out there who might be hesitant to decide the layout in the actual aquarium itself. So for those of you, what I would suggest is take a sellotape and a marker. What I'll tell you guys is take the dimension of the tank, like whatever the length is and whatever the width is, take the inner dimension of the tank and just sellotape it according to your dimension of the tank on the floor or on the table. If you guys are hesitant, like you'll end up cracking up the glass or something, what I would suggest you guys is take the driftwood and take the rocks and start playing around within the boundary, and make sure you have a top view of that profile of the taping that you have done, so that you don't cross that boundary. So this way actually it will be easier for you guys to move around things like very easily, rather moving around things in your main tank and be hesitant enough to end up cracking your glass or something. So that's a tip for you guys. So the first and the foremost step what we guys would be doing is we'll have a close look at our hardscape. In my case, actually this particular driftwood, if you see the profile of this driftwood, is actually a bit linear, and one of the branch is going upwards and one branch is going downwards, and there are actually many spots. If you guys notice, like there are many spots in the aquarium, so you guys need to have a look at these kind of spots, and this way we'll actually get a whole idea, and actually maybe even we can decide what kind of plants we're going to put into this aquarium. If you guys are going for a low-tech aquarium, like you can actually put plants like Anubias, Java fern in these kind of spots, and maybe even Bush philandra. So when it comes to driftwood, make sure you guys try to have a look at the profile. I would suggest you guys, when you actually guys go to buy a driftwood, make sure you guys have a look at the driftwood and find it has a good amount of character to it, depending upon your aquarium size and what's the dimension of your aquarium. When it comes to rock, it's just not about just placing however you want it. You guys need to find out what is the good amount of character the rock has, on which side it has, so that you guys can place it so that it stands up, and actually that becomes like a focal point for your rock or maybe even your aquascape. So the step 2, once you guys have identified the characteristics of your hardscape, step 2 what we guys will be doing, we will be pre-imagining our scape. Like before we could actually put down our scape in the main tank or maybe on the floor and trying to move around things, what we'll do is we'll just pre-imagine, like with the hardscape that we have, how our tank would look like. So for my particular scape, actually have an idea of having this driftwood on one side and having these branches flow on the other side. So basically I'm going to create like a one directional flow, and I'm going to actually load up the rocks on one side so that we can have a dense aquascape on one side of the tank and leave the one side of the aquarium open. Since my width of my aquarium is only 9 inches, in these kind of cases where you have the width of your aquarium less, we can actually fake the width of the aquarium by giving a slope to your aquascape. I would say slope in the sense, when you guys put the soil in your aquarium, just give it a slight slope to it so that it gives a effect of depth to the aquarium. So this way in the second step you guys can decide like as to how your scape is going to look like before you guys could actually put it on the main tank or on the floor. So we have our aquarium in place. The reason why this is in place is because I want to demonstrate the step 3 bit easier, so that the scape itself is in focus and not myself. So once you guys have the aquarium in place, say that you guys are actually deciding your scape either on the floor or on the aquarium, both applies the same. So whatever I'm gonna do, it's gonna apply for both. So first take your driftwood, and according to our pre-planning that we have done in step 2, just place your driftwood in that manner. So basically what I told you guys, since this has a character of the branches which is going upwards and downwards, so I'm going to actually place it in this way so that I give it one directional growth to my scape, and just have a close look at it into how as it looks. It looks pretty well, and I'm having actually enough space on this side as well. So once I'm done like placing my wood and I'm satisfied with how it looks, then I'm gonna take my rocks and start placing them. While placing your rocks, what you guys have to do is make sure you guys leave at least 2-inch gap from the glass panel to your rock. The reason why is because it becomes easier for your maintenance, and you might not actually end up cracking up your glass in front while actually cleaning your aquarium. Say that you guys have put the rock right in front, and while maybe doing the maintenance, if you try to shift this a bit, it might tend to smash towards the glass and it might end up cracking it. So I suggest you guys to leave at least 1 inch or 2 inch space from the front of your glass panel. So once you guys have done that, start putting up all the other rocks. Have a close look at the characteristics to the rocks and then start putting them up. So I'm placing all my bigger rocks on one side. This rock, what you guys see right here, let me show you guys. This actually has a character like this. So it actually has a bit of a curve in this. So what I'm gonna do is, to give it a natural effect to my scape, I'm gonna place this rock right below one of the branch. So it appears to be as though it is naturally coming up the rock like that. So once I have placed my bigger pieces, I actually have smaller pieces as well. So these smaller pieces, I'm gonna put them up like in between somewhere over here. Actually this needs to be pointing up like that, although right now it might not stand. The reason is because I'm not having a substrate. So once I have the substrate, I'm actually gonna plan to put it up like that, so that it actually has a pointed edge. And then I'm gonna put a bit more rocks. Then we'll have our tiny pieces, something like these, which we can also try to put them later, after we have once put our soil in the aquarium. Since this is just a pre-planning, you might not need it. And this particular rock, I just want to isolate it a bit, and I want to give it like a unique character, and maybe it can also be a focal point for my aquarium. So what I'm gonna do is, I have the smaller pieces as well. I'm not gonna put them now. So I'm gonna make sure this rock stands up like that, and I'm gonna put these smaller pieces around it. Make sure, this is the reason why I tell you guys not to do it in the main tank, because if it's not stable, it might fall like that and end up cracking up your aquarium. First scape, what you guys see is actually I have loaded up the rocks on one side. Actually that's where I'm gonna have my dense plants gonna grow up, and whereas the branches that are actually flowing out on the one side of the aquarium, that's where I'm gonna have my moss and my other smaller plants like anubias. So that's actually the overall idea for my option 1. So let's move on to the option 2. So coming to the option 2, what actually I had a thought about it was I just turned around my driftwood upside down, and this is how I want it to be like. So this branch is actually gonna come upwards like that. So actually there are many plants which actually grow outside the aquarium as well. So this option might be useful for that. And actually in this particular option, I have more space on this side, and this actually creates like a nice kind of focal point for my aquarium, this right here. So keeping this idea, let me start placing up the rocks. I'm doing the similar thing. I'm just placing up the rocks in the similar way that I did for my first option. Be careful. So once I have this, so now since I have used most of my bigger pieces, what I'll do is I'll just put some tiny pieces over here, and this particular piece that I showed you guys in my first option, the same piece I'm going to use it again, and I'm going to isolate it on the other side of the aquarium. So I'm going to create like an isolated kind of a cluster of my rocks on one side. So this is actually my second option, which I'm thinking, guys. Now I'm actually confused. So I like both the options. I'm kind of confused, so I need your help. I want you guys to tell me which option should I go with, either it's option 1 or option 2. So I'll be going with that, so I need your favor. So please comment down below and let me know which option I should go with, either if it's option 1 or option 2. So depending upon that, I need to select my plants as well. So please let me know, and don't forget this. Hope you guys have got the enough information and the enough tips that I gave you guys today. If you guys actually want to set up a planted aquarium, what I would suggest you guys is make sure you guys buy a nano aquarium like this, because when it comes to planted aquarium, things can get quite expensive. The moment you have a bigger aquarium, the cost for your soil, the cost for your hardscape actually goes up. As the area is more, you might need more amount of hardscape and soil in your aquarium, and even the plants. So what I would suggest is just start up with a small just start up with a small aquarium, so that you guys can actually monitor your fish closely and even your plants closely, and maybe once you guys are pro in it, and then you can go for your bigger aquarium. Before you guys could leave the video, I just want to request one thing to you guys. If you guys have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel and smash the like button and comment down below. I just went through my YouTube analytics, and more than 70% of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel. So please make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, and in the next episode I'll be showing you guys how to attach the aquarium plants to the driftwood and the rocks, and how to decide it accordingly to your scape. So stay tuned for that. Thank you all, see you again, and happy fish keeping, guys.